Church, Binh was dead ass wrong for telling Morgan secrets, but after that damn couples dinner, she might not be married long enough for it to matter no way. I got my notes, I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Alright y'all, so jumping right on in, let's talk about this dinner party drama. Now that dinner party was something, was it? Listen, normally I'm not a fan of the couples being in each other's relationships and, asking all these questions and just being very invasive in people's business. But you know what? Because of the lack of experts that we have seen 6 episodes in, I'm just like, listen, it's a laissez-faire situation for me at this point. Let the people do what they gonna do. And I really like that they were not afraid to ask the hard-hitting questions, right? Because either we're going to go there or we're not, okay? I love the accountability. I love that they asked the questions that everybody pretty much wanted to know, right? Now let's move on to Miguel, y'all. Miguel's ass was saved by them damn mariachis, okay? Never have I ever been so invested in a scene. Let me tell you, my messy ass would have gotten up from that table, baby. I'd have tootsie rolled on over to them damn mariachis. I'd have been like, listen, I'm going to give y'all $50, okay? Not 50 pesos. We in Mexico, baby. $50 if y'all could just tootsie roll your ass around the corner for about 15-20 minutes, because I need to see how this damn showdown gonna go between Stacia and damn Miguel, okay? Because Miguel was getting on that damn lady nerves. Now listen, Miguel is running circles around Lindy, and Mama is too ditzy to realize it, okay? And even if she does realize it, she's too proud to admit it to the damn other couples, okay? And Stacia said, listen, we all being open, we all, putting ourselves out there. We don't really know much about you, so let's get on into your damn story. Where do you come from? Only thing we know about you, baby, is you had a sister that came to the damn wedding, and she crazier than a soup sandwich talking about, the astrological signs of you and Lindy and how that's not, a good indication of how y'all gonna be as a damn couple. But other than that, we don't know much about your story, so let's get on into it. And listen, Miguel's ass was saved by them damn mariachis, okay? Because Stacia is a boss lady. Stacia strikes me as someone who is very direct, very to the point, and not afraid to get into that ass, okay? So like I said, baby, I just don't know, through all these damn seasons of Married at First Sight, now is the time that y'all decide to take something away and be more, discreet with it. Now is the time y'all decide not to be messy. I'm like, it was the perfect setup to an epic showdown. But listen, that's just my messy side talking. And maybe in the grand scheme of things, it was probably best that they moved on, because it probably would have gotten ugly, even though I would have lived for that damn moment. Now let's move on to our general couple updates. Let's start with Morgan and Binh. So Binh tells Morgan's secret to Justin. Now, what I really did not like about this scene, y'all, is it's the smokescreenation of the situation, right? Because Binh kind of started on the path to try to kind of allay his involvement in it and try to make it seem like Morgan's faults in the relationships are why he did what he did, right? Did y'all peep that too? Drop down in the comments if you did. But I just didn't like how he started with the whole, you're not as family oriented as I would have asked for, and you have student debt. Let's talk about it for a second, because both of these things are not problems, right? You're not that family oriented. I asked for someone that was more family oriented. Baby, listen, I got problems with my family. People out there got problems with their family. My friends got problems with their family. It is very rare that you have someone that just has an idyllic childhood, right? In terms of what Binh is saying that he's been through with his family and his mom being his best friend and XYZ. It's very rare to find 2 people like that, just in general life, right? And even more rare for both of those people to find each other in a damn process, notwithstanding, the experts putting these people together, right? I think sometimes opposites can attract and opposite backgrounds can kind of complement each other, right? Because whereas Morgan is not that close to her family and she doesn't have that sort of relationship, you do have that strong relationship with your family. So maybe what the experts are thinking is that, you being so close to your family gives her a family that she didn't basically have, right? So you're pretty much making a mountain out of a molehill and making problems where there's not any, right? Just because she's not close to her family doesn't mean that that's a big indication of how y'all will be together or how y'all will further yourselves as a couple, right? So I really didn't like that. And on the topic of finances, y'all, Binh is saying, that since Morgan has student debt, he asked for someone that was, in the process or in the state of building, right? So stacking money away, stacking investments, stacking wealth and whatnot. And again, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, right? Because that lady never asked you to put one dime towards her student debt, okay? All 2-3 days in is that she owes somebody money, okay? She did not ask for none of your crypto. She did not ask for any of your stocks. She did not ask for any of your cash on hand to pay nobody, okay? So I don't understand the problem, right? And in the grand scheme of things, if she has debt, how does that affect you if your finances are already separate? You can keep building, she can keep doing what she's doing, and once her debt is paid off, then y'all can move together as a couple and figure out what the finances combined look like for the both of you, right? So I just really did not like the smokescreenation of the situation and him trying to kind of make it her fault as to why he did what he did, right? Now getting into the actual secret. So Morgan says that, though she's been practicing as a nurse, right, she's still one class shy of getting her bachelor's in nursing, right? So she's been a nurse, she's been, working in the field, she's been doing this, but the actual, I guess, further accreditation to move up in her field in terms of a bachelor's degree, she does not have that yet. She's one class away. So she told Binh, listen, I'm wanting to be transparent with you. I'm one class away from this, right? Binh basically blows the situation out of proportion and is trying to feel like, she lied to him. She's keeping things from, if I'm telling you it, from my lips, how am I keeping it from you, right? How have I lied to you? That doesn't make any sense. And she's still a nurse. She's just a nurse without a bachelor's degree because she's one class shy. So I understand where Binh was trying to come from, but I really feel that he missed the mark on this and the opportunity to kind of build some, rapport, some commonality, and to be there for his wife in that moment, right? So instead of coming to talk to her about his concerns, he goes to the worst person possible in this damn experiment to tell, okay? Once again, because we 6 episodes in and, experts are nowhere to be found, Binh decides to go talk to Justin, okay? Y'all, I understand that sensitive people can relate to people in a different way. They can feel emotions more. They can give people what they need in a conversation. But out of all the husbands to tell Binh, you told the worst possible one, okay? That man is too sensitive. He cries at the drop of a hat. He can't keep nothing from nobody, and he Velcro with Alexis. So of course, whatever you told him, he was going to tell her. And when people say not to tell somebody a secret, listen, for me, if I'm your friend and you tell me not to tell anybody anything, I'm not telling anybody nothing, right? But and however, the general rule of secrets, baby, is if you have to discuss it with somebody, you tell somebody of little to no consequence to the situation, right? There was nothing preventing Binh from maybe calling his best friend his mama, or calling one of his friends back home, or maybe calling one of his damn siblings, right? Somebody that wasn't germane to the damn experiment, and somebody that couldn't say something that would get around the damn group, right? But instead of that, you Tootsie Roll your ass to sensitive as Justin. Now, I'm going to give Justin a slight pass, right? Because we did not see the actual conversation between Binh and Justin in terms of if Binh told Justin not to tell anybody. We don't have that information. But listen, if it were up to me and I had to pick one of those damn husbands to tell, the person I would have picked is Mitch. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Before you throw tomatoes, I'm going to tell Mitch. And the reason why is because Mitch is so busy in an inner conflict with who he is and what he wants, saving the damn environment and being Captain Save the Planet, that he ain't got time to tell my damn business all up and down the damn street, okay? That's why I would tell Mitch out of anybody if I was going to tell somebody that was there versus my mama back home or some damn friends. So Binh was dead ass wrong. And Morgan was right. If you need to talk to somebody, baby, talk to me, right? I'm the person with the issue. I'm the person who brought this to you. If you have problems with it, let's talk about it. Let's work through it. And the thing that kills me is Binh over here talking about how he done read all these books and is trying to be a good husband. Well, you failed the first test, okay? Because if I am your, wife and you are my husband and I tell you not to tell somebody something, and the first chance you get, you go tell somebody that goddamn, mouth almighty, tongue everlasting and could tell everybody everything, you have failed the damn test, right? Now, let me move on before I get even more mad. Now, let's talk about how Morgan done messed up. So we're going to move on to this damn dinner party conversation. Morgan, girl, in the eternal words of Tyra Banks, okay? We was rooting for you, baby. We was all rooting for you. We were Team Morgan, down with Binh. He did you wrong as your husband, okay? He told your secrets. But then you gonna Tootsie Roll your ass to this damn dinner and basically negate all the goodwill that we pretty much have given you. And, the lengths that we have gone to kind of be on your side in this situation where, you were done wrong by this man. You gonna sit at this damn dinner and tell the people that because you a nurse, okay, you felt the effects of COVID and the pandemic and the stuff very, very strongly. And I'm not negating your experience. But then she says that, she needs a husband that when she comes home, he's self-sufficient. He's, on his own. He's not all up under her, because if she's taking care of people all day long, she don't need to come home and take care of her husband too, okay? Now let's get into it, Morgan. Did you want a husband or did you just want some live-in D? Okay, because baby, listen, you did not need to go on Married at First Sight and get your ass on a nationally syndicated damn, TV show in order to just have some live-in D at home, okay? Because in my mind, what Morgan said was, listen, I'm fitting to come home. I'm fitting to be, going through all sorts of stress, struggles, and strife from my damn job. Don't talk to me, baby. I might give you some coochie later because, I want that too. But then after that, you need to go to another room because I can't deal with you. And the people at the table told her right, okay? That's a whole nother person with feelings, desires, and, you can't negate him in the relationship because of what you want, okay? Marriage is a collaborative process. You're going into this together, so compromises are going to have to be made. And you can't keep living your life as a single woman and just add a husband to the mix without having to do the work to keep him, to do the work for him to keep you, and, going forward with that. It's not a one-way street. Like, I don't know if you wanted a husband because you wanted to check off that box or because you actually wanted what comes along with it, right? So listen, we got to call a spade, and just like we can, tear Binh down to the floor for messing you over with your secrets, we're going to have to hold you accountable for your thoughts on how you thought this marriage was going to go. And like I said, I'm really glad that the other couples held her accountable, because that is not what a relationship is built on. It can't be me. It can't be I. Baby, it got to be we. Okay, so you're going to figure it out as y'all go on. Now let's get on into Lindy and Miguel, y'all. So Lindy and Miguel, surprisingly, y'all, were the first to have sex, and that triggered some drama in the group. Now let's get on into it. Lindy, people have a problem with you and Miguel having sex, not because they don't like Miguel, not because they don't want to see you happy, not because they don't see it for you as a couple. It's because people have a problem reconciling incongruent information, okay? And that's where it begins and that's where it ends, right? Let's get into it. From the beginning, you've been talking about how sex is important to you. Sex is a gift. It means a lot. When I give this gift to him, I want him to appreciate it, right? And then on the Miguel side, it's been, sex is just a natural part of a relationship. When I'm feeling somebody, I want to do, that activity with them. It's just the natural order of things, right? And through your own estimation, Lindy, and through your own words, you said that the man kept trying to get at you in terms of making advances, and you kept on shutting him down respectfully, right? So this is why people have an issue with it because it almost seems like whiplash, right? For us as the viewers, last week you was talking about it's a gift and it's going to take a while for you to get there with him, right? And then, you know, for the people that are actually experiencing this with you in real time on the damn show, right? You know, it couldn't have been more than 1 to 2 days since you were talking about this whole gift of sex thing, and now you're over here talking about we done made love, it was beautiful, it was an amazing experience, you know, we both went there was rose petals, there was, you know, doves singing in the windows, and we are just so happy and moving forward. It's not a smoke screen, it's just the incongruency of the situation, because those two things don't seem to go together. And so instantly in someone's mind, what it says to them is, did she really want this, or did she get tired of fighting this man off, right? Okay, and that's why people were ready to ride for you, right? Because if it's a situation where he took advantage of you, you weren't really wanting to go along with it, but like Stacia said, like you felt like if I didn't have sex with him, I didn't know where it would go. Like if it was that kind of situation, we're gonna be behind you, right? But listen, this is a situation where we don't know you long enough to dissect what you're saying in terms of it being right or wrong, right? So we're going to have to go for your words instead of your works, because we don't know you for your works yet. So we're going to have to go with your words. So if you say that it was a beautiful, you know, experience, he ain't pressure you into anything, it was a collaborative experience, then we got to take you at face value and go from there until we get something else, right? Now let's move on to the next point. Now, following that, Miguel says that he needs the full 8 weeks to decide if he's in love or all in. And it's just very interesting to me how this conversation comes right after y'all have sex. This is why I said Miguel is running circles around you, Lindy, and like whether or not you recognize what's going on or you're too proud to admit it to the group, I just don't know. But you seem like not a deer in headlights, but you just seem like you're going along to get along, and what he says is gospel to the rest of the group, but then like different parts of you come into it in terms of when you're trying to fight for yourself, but then you quiet yourself down. Like, don't quiet yourself down. Like, this is the experiment to caw and pretty much say what's on your mind, say what's on your heart. Now, Lindy basically said, listen, you know, if I'm feeling you, I'm not going to need the full 8 weeks to decide if I'm all in or I'm in love. And Miguel pretty much says the opposite of it. I'm going to need the full time to decide if I'm all in with you, right? And listen, two things can be true at the same time. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying I need the full 8 weeks to decide if I'm in love with you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying if we're feeling each other and if I feel a higher connection with you, I may feel that I love you and I'm all in before the damn 8 weeks, right? But I can understand where Lindy is coming from in terms of their two different love languages and how, you know, she doesn't want to be all in with somebody who's just going to eventually end up breaking her heart at the end of the experiment, okay? But they always say, baby, listen, once you give up your parts, you give up your heart, okay? So I would have done personally me until all my damn questions, my concerns, my fears are answered to my satisfaction. I shall not move one leg open for you to have no coochie, okay? But that's personally me. Now, you may be doing it ass backwards and perhaps it's going to work out for you. We're going to see. But I really feel that you kind of messed up in terms of the whole giving him exactly what he wanted when you don't seem to have gotten what you wanted out of the situation. But we're going to see what happens. Now, on to Stacia and Nate, y'all. Let's talk about whether Nate is actually listening and present. And we're going to talk about this whole notion of hearing somebody versus listening to them, right? And y'all, you know, this episode is the first time that I've actually had those doubts as to whether or not Nate is there for the right reasons, right? And I say that to say this. When he was with Stacia at that damn picnic with the tent and the, you know, ants and the bugs and the food and whatnot, and Stacia was going into depths about her feelings, her past relationships, how she ended up here, her wants, desires, fears, etc. For me, Nate just did not seem present in the moment, right? He didn't seem like he was all there. It was one of those situations where, you know, there's a difference between hearing somebody and listening to them, right? And to me, Nate was just hearing her in that moment. We've all been in situations where we've been talking to people, we have not been fully invested in the conversation, and you say just enough in order to keep the conversation going and keep it flowing and not let the other person know that you're not that invested and you don't really care that much. to pretty much to go along to get along, right? We've all had situations where we've had to do that, and people have probably done that to us as well, right? But it doesn't feel good, and I feel like, even though Stacia didn't address it in that moment, you do kind of wonder sometimes if what he's telling you is lip service or what he's telling you is actually what he feels in his spirit, and he's all in and he's there, right? So there may be something to what Lindy and Miguel were saying in terms of, him always being on his phone, him not being there for the actual experiment. Perhaps that could be that, or that could just be them doing that whole tit for tat thing in terms of, you had something to say about my situation, let me tell you about yours, right? And the thing that I didn't like, right, is by the end of the episode, Nate's all in the bed telling Stacia how, he's fallen in love with her, or he's in love with her, and blah, blah. It seemed disingenuous. It seemed too much too soon. It seemed like, I'm losing her. I need to say this to keep, her on the carrot, keep the carrot dangling, keep her still in the mix, keep her off of what I'm actually doing, right? And, listen, I will be the first person to admit that I am wrong, but I cannot negate how I feel in terms of the situation that I'm seeing. So I hope that Nate is not what, we're kind of getting the inkling that he may be in this moment. And perhaps, he just had a series of off days, and the real Nate's going to show up later in terms of the person that's feeling compassionate, all in, listening, not just hearing, and being there for what Stacia truly needs. So we shall see. Now let's move on to Krysten and Mitch, y'all. So Krysten is in the driver's seat of the relationship, and I think that's the best place where she needs to be. Listen, Krysten finally told the other ladies what actually happened. It was kind of very anticlimactic because she didn't go into like the level of detail that I needed, but it's fine. Okay, not everybody's going to be, a wordsmith with their words, baby, and paint you the picture, okay, so you can really feel that she was in the moment with them, but it is what it is. So she told the other ladies what was up in terms of what her and Mitch was going through. And she said she pretty much had to take back her power in the situation, right? Because you have pretty much told me one thing in terms of you're not attracted to me, and then, by that night you're in bed with me, you're cuddling with me, you want to have sex. Like the information is not congruent, right? It's giving me mixed signals. That's what it's giving, right? And so she basically said, no, I'm taking back my power. This is going to be on my terms. And I think that's the best place for her to be. And listen, quiet as it's kept, every time she tell that man, what it is, or she's assertive and she tells him, what she really wants, what she desires, and her path forward, it seems to turn him on even more. So girl, listen, you might be doing the right thing by doing the thing that's the best thing for you to be doing in the situation, which is sticking up for yourself. So good for you. Now, can she trust Mitch's branches, right? And so this is just a situation, y'all, where eventually, she's going to have to, just like I was saying before, like, we don't know you for your works yet. So we have to talk about your words, right? Like, we might have to believe you at face value. Actually, in the Mitch and Krysten situation, we do know you for your works, right? But my general saying has always been, 1 time is a fluke, 2 is a pattern, and by 5, it's a lifestyle, okay? So we just have one isolated incident where Mitch is saying that he's not attracted to you, right? And then we have the incident where he wants to be with you. He's pouncing on you in your words and wants to work through it, right? So listen, if the whole attractiveness or the attraction thing comes up again, then we got to start talking about the pattern situation. But Krysten is going to have to get to the point where, she's really walking a tightrope right now. She's trying to decide whether or not to put weight into what Mitch is saying, right? So in terms of like a branches on a tree, right? She has 1 foot on his branch, right? And she's trying to decide whether or not he's worth it and whether or not he's stable enough to take her full weight to put that 2nd foot on the damn branch, right? It's a very tough place to be because eventually you're going to have to open up, you're going to have to be vulnerable, and you're going to have to lean in to the fact that, you might get hurt out of the situation if you open up to him again. But you got into this married at first sight experiment in order to do something different from your past situations. So you might as well go on through it and see what it does. So I hope what Mitch is saying now is correct. And I hope he's not just caught up in the visual love of the honeymoon, the visual love of, a woman being assertive and telling him no, and the visual love of, I don't know, he seems to need to be told what to do or what to feel. So we shall see what should happen with that damn situation. But Krysten, do not do what Lindy did, okay? Do not give up your parts until you are fully vested in the fact that all all of your questions have been answered, all of your fears have been allayed, at that point, that's when you give up your coochie, but not before. Now, moving on to Alexis and Justin, y'all. Let's talk about Justin being Captain Save-A-Ho. So, y'all, as I said before, Justin is very sensitive. You know, he feels everything. He cries a lot. He's very empathetic, right? Empathetic. And so, not pathetic. I'm not trying to start no damn drama. Empathetic. Okay, let me be very, very clear, right? So, I understand wanting to be there for your friend, wanting the best for them, and wanting to essentially try to fight their battles, right? But at the point in time where you have your own relationship to worry about, you can't be worried about being Captain Save-A-Ho in somebody else's marriage, okay? At a certain point, if Binh feels a certain way, he gonna have to fight his own battles, okay? It's okay for you to be talking to him on the back end, giving him advice, telling him what you think, but when it gets to the point of you back at your damn hotel room, crying to your wife, with these big damn crocodile tears talking about how, you know, she's not what he wanted and, you know, he's such a good guy and not getting what he needs out of the situation. Listen, one time is a fluke, twice is a pattern, by 5 it's a lifestyle. Morgan has only done one thing at that damn dinner, right, in order to even tip y'all off that she's not who, you know, Binh needs her to be or who he thought she was going to be, okay? One time is a fluke. If it happens again, okay, it's a pattern. But even with that, it's not your battle, Justin, okay? Focus on Alexis. Focus on your marriage. Give your counsel to your friend on the back end, you know, if you need to and if he asks for it. But Binh needs to fight his own battles, and you can't be feeling so much for his situation that it starts to bleed over into yours and your wife having to tell you that, you know, you can't save everybody, you can't focus on everybody. You need to know that, okay? And I don't know if it's something about extremely sensitive people that cry all the time, but listen, you're going to have to be a little bit more unfeeling and focus on your damn situation. And that's what I think. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you agree or if you think, you know, Tree, as they call him, is there to fight Binh's battles. Now, let's move on to Alexis being in love. Y'all, Alexis and Justin have had the quickest love turnaround for me in Married at First Sight history. Normally, it takes them maybe like the middle of the experiment, maybe the end of the experiment for people to say, you know, that you know, Justin was always in love with Alexis, but Alexis wasn't always in love with Justin, right? And just last week, he was laughing at the man, not laughing at him, but laughing at the situation in terms of him knowing you 2-3 days and telling you that you know, he's in love with you, right? And now this damn, you know, week that we're watching, you know, probably 1 to 2 days in their time, you're over there telling him that you love him too. So while I think that it's beautiful, I think a lot of you can still be caught up in the visual loveation of the damn honeymoon situation, right? So not negating her feelings, not negating what she's, you know, doing, professing it to him. I just need more real life to occur. And if y'all still have those lovey-dovey, I love him, I love her feelings, then so be it, right? But I don't like when things are kind of reciprocated because, you know, you want to make the other person feel good or you feel like it's something that you should say in a situation. And granted, you know, maybe her walls are coming down. You know, she says that he makes her nicer and he makes her more sensitive. So perhaps she's feeling what she's feeling and it's authentic. But like I said, once real life happens and y'all are not at a damn Mexican resort where the environment is literally dictated for you to kind of have those loving feelings, I will believe the love conversation more at that point. But listen, as far as doing your wifely duties and giving your husband what he needs, I think she did that in that moment. And if she's feeling it, then I love it. Now, y'all, I think that's really all I wanted to talk about on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, the honeymoon's over and real life begins. Somebody please page them damn experts so Binh has someone else to tell all Morgan's secrets to other than Justin. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.